Back to the daily grind, and shout out to the full-time patrons. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
What is up, full-time family? This is gonna be a good video because what we discuss in this video is gonna go for Conor McGregor, it's gonna go for Tony Ferguson, and all of these other divisions where we don't know who's the real champion. He never lost the belt, so is he the real champion? Same thing here with Jon Jones versus Daniel Cormier. I've got the answer. No, Jon Jones is not still the champion, and no, Conor McGregor, Tony Ferguson, they're not still the champion, and I'll tell you exactly why. Because when you go to UFC.com and you look beside champion and it tells you their name, that's the champion. That's who's got the actual belt. That's who, if there was a title fight tomorrow, would be defending their belt. Now, what other people are considering is possibly rightful number one in the division, or even the GOAT. In Jon Jones' case, we can make an argument. Yes, Jon Jones is potentially the GOAT, but is he the champion? No, he's not. He's on the sidelines. He got stripped multiple times now. He failed drug tests. But if you want to talk about skills, I'm with you. We can say Jon Jones is still the greatest of all time, although I would be open to an argument if someone said, yeah, but would Jon Jones have ever beat Daniel Cormier if he was clean? Because we don't know that. We don't know. We've never seen for sure clean Jon Jones versus Daniel Cormier. That's why Daniel Cormier gets my nod for greatest of all time. But I know that's not a popular opinion. But if you're talking about pound for pound, I mean, and that's, god damn, there's so many things we can. Are we talking about pound for pound? Are we talking about greatest skill-wise? Because then you have to look at Demetrius Johnson. So if we're talking about pound for pound, greatest fighter of all time, you got to go with Daniel Cormier over Jon Jones. Even though he's lost to Jon Jones, this is why I say it, Daniel Cormier's never popped. We're not even talking about personal shit like cocaine and hookers. We're not talking about none of that, and strippers, none of that. We're talking about skills and clean athletes. Daniel Cormier's never failed a USADA drug test, any drug test, Olympics, nothing. Never failed drug test in the UFC and strike force, none of that shit. He's clean. Then when you want to talk about multiple weight classes, we got Daniel Cormier, who's 13-0 at heavyweight, undefeated at another weight class, the weight class above, the one Jon Jones dreams of going up and fighting at. He's never fought there before. He's talked about fighting Brock Lesnar and fighting at heavyweight, but he hasn't done it. You know who has? DC, higher weight class, 13-0, Strike Force Grand Prix champion. Now when you look at Jon Jones, he's probably more skillful at light heavyweight, but DC's got a resume at light heavyweight too, even though Jon Jones is better. DC's beat everybody not named Jon Jones also at light heavyweight. So when you take both of their light heavyweight resumes into consideration, but you add on DC's heavyweight the heaviest fucking weight class there is. I'm talking about the baddest man on the planet is the heavyweight champion for a reason. Because it don't matter how skillful you are if you're Demetrius Johnson. If you walk into a bar and Steve Miocic is there and he smacks your girl on the ass, you know, and I'm not even trying to put nobody in an awkward situation. I'm just saying anybody. It don't matter if you're any UFC champion. I'm talking about 155 pounds and down. You're not fucking with Stipe Miocic. You're likely not fucking with Daniel Cormier, and that's why they pay what they weigh. The heavyweights usually make more money than the flyweights, and the light heavyweights usually make more money than the bantamweights. You know why? Because those are the baddest men on the planet to fight at that heaviest weight class. And with that being said, Daniel Cormier was undefeated up there at heavyweight. So that makes his case for greatest fighter of all time. And keep in mind, at UFC 226, he's going back up to heavyweight to fight possibly the greatest heavyweight of all time, is Stipe Miocic. And if he wins that fight, there's no fucking argument who the GOAT is. But with that being said, let's get back to Jon Jones, because he still believes that he's the champion, right? And so this is what the fan had to say. And my bad about that whole DC rant, man. He's got a fight coming up, and honestly, I don't think there's enough respect on his name. But the fan said, the belt will always be yours, homie. Jon Jones said, thanks, brother. Yeah, I know. I don't need to hold that belt to be the champion. I'm sure the whole top five knows that too. Now, as far as the top five is concerned, you might have a point when you're talking about Gustafsson possibly. But I don't think the guys like Glover Teixeira coming up, and, you know, I think, not Glover Teixeira, I'm sorry. I'm talking about Ilir Latifi. Ilir Latifi's a guy that looked really good in his last fight, and he's talked about fighting at multiple weight classes, and he'd be a fresh challenge for Jon Jones. So, you know, Jon Jones has a point when he's talking about, because he's cleared out the division, right? He's beat a lot of those guys in the top 5 and the top 10. He's beat a lot, but he's been out for a while, and there's some fresh blood. So as far as the whole top 5, I think you might get some arguments from guys like either Latifi, possibly even Daniel Cormier, if he wanted to use the argument, which he's been respectful in not doing so. But if Daniel Cormier ever came out and said, I believe I can beat a clean John Jones, then John Jones would have argument on his hands. Because just real quick, whenever John Jones and DC fought the first time, it was pre-USADA, right? And the second time, John Jones popped. So we cannot be sure that John Jones was clean when he fought DC in either fight. We know he wasn't the second fight according to USADA, and you can't even use dick pills for that excuse, right? Because he was suspended. We saw how the court hearing went. John Jones was found guilty. He's still suspended. It's not dick pills this time. We gave him the dick pills for the first time, but now when you pop a second time, I mean, damn, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So it's hard for me to say John Jones is the champion. Now, if you want to bring up skills, yeah, maybe he's the GOAT. But I don't know if he's the champion, man. It's hard for me. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. I want to know your opinion, full-time family. Also, who do you think is going to win out of Daniel Cormier and Steve Miocic at UFC 226 in the champion versus champion super fight? I'm out. And as always, thanks for checking out this video. If you want to join the notification gang, make sure you hit subscribe and also hit the bell next to it so you're notified every time I upload a video. And if you want to help this channel reach its full potential, consider hitting the PayPal link in the description or going to patreon.com/fulltimemma and becoming a patron. I'm out.
This is #1 bullshit.